Hello, brick sculptors, and welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris, and today we're going to do a tips, tricks, and techniques talking about streetlights, stoplights, and power lines. Now, I know I said I was going to do a city walkthrough today, but I am absolutely exhausted. I did a crazy bike ride after work, and I don't want to get the city in working order, which is going to take a few hours. So we're going to do this today. I promise you the city update will be coming probably on Thursday, because Tuesday I have to do the challenge reveal, the tech challenge reveal. So today we're gonna do tips, tricks, and techniques. A few people asked for this and I've been wanting to do this, so it's time. Let's go. First of all, we're gonna talk about streetlights. Now, everyone knows you can do this. You can buy these pre-made, really good looking streetlight poles. That is a trans clear minifig head, and then just put a little something on top. It doesn't have to be a dish. It can really be anything. But I think we can dress this up a little bit. I wanted to do some of these kind of older timey streetlights. One idea I loved playing around with is the paint roller piece. I don't love the center. I need to workshop this a little bit further. Maybe put another glass dome in the middle. But these paint rollers are super cool because you can have them come off the center. I've used this on buildings quite a bit in my city, and they make for fantastic light holders. This piece, I only have it in white and dark green. I don't know what else it comes in, but that's all I have it in. So some of these are going to be dark green and black mixed because I don't have a ton of dark green pieces. One way I found to dress this up really cool is to make these glass domes. Now I know these are white, not trans clear, but these domes are often very frosted. They're often white looking. So basically I just have a Travis brick in the middle here. I have some of these 1x1 rounds with a bar on them. I just put one of these ball pieces on here. 4 of them all the way around that Travis brick. Up the middle, I have a bar with another ball on top. You can put a 1x1 round with open stud under that if you want. Probably would look better if I did that. But I think that looks super cool. You see these in like front yards. You see them in parks. I think that is a fantastic looking little street lamp. And one more, I want to dress it up even a little more. So this one, I went back to the minifig heads. And I think that looks fantastic. Same basic design, just using minifig heads instead of the white balls. And what an awesome looking old time street lamp. So there's some old time street lamps. Let's talk about a more modern one here. Now when building anything with long poles, I highly recommend using a selection of pieces or gathering a selection of pieces. A few bins that I use a lot is this one. This one here holds all my bar pieces, and I have lots of bars and lots of colors. Comes in very handy for building stuff like this. Another bin I use a lot is this one. I highly recommend, if you don't use a lot of pin connectors and candlesticks, start. They make for such great builds because you then have 3 different diameters you can work with. You have pin connector diameter, which is basically the same as a 1x1 round brick, but a lot more useful. You have the Technic axle connector, which is a little bit, it's basically the same diameter, but a little bit thinner and has some texture to it. You have the candlestick diameter, and then of course the bar diameter. So having a selection of these is very handy. These are my 2 go-to bins when I'm making like street lights and stuff, because so many useful pieces. And then you're also going to want a large selection of clip and bar pieces. This is just my white ones. I have this in most colors, but lots of clips and bars, maybe even some snot pieces thrown in. This kind of stuff is going to be very handy for connecting all of these pieces. So that's basically what I'm going to work with here. This first design is going to use these pin connectors here. Now the newer pin connectors all have the slot. That's how pretty much everything you're going to find out there is. They did make them without. This is a yellow one. These are few and far between. They're an older piece. I believe they are retired. I might be wrong about that. But the slotted ones are what you're going to see kind of everywhere. It is a little annoying because you have to figure out how to hide that slot. So I usually point them towards the back of my mock, but unfortunately sometimes it just is what it is. So we're going to start with a couple of these. We're just going to use basic Technic pins to connect them. This light is going to start with a large stack of these. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. And you can make this whatever height you need. Make it taller, shorter for your needs. I'm just showing you an example of a possible street light here that might work well in your city. So there we have our 9 pin connectors. And now we're going to start building outward from this. Now I wanted to make a street light that had kind of two bars coming off it that meet up and extend. And I think this turned out pretty cool. Check it out. The next thing I'm going to use is a D-snot piece, this newer snot piece with the rounded back. These integrate really well because of that rounded back. So you can pop this on top of here, and it's very seamless on this side, but then gives you a stud. So these pieces just integrate really nicely. On top of that, I'm going to use a 1x1 round brick, which again will have the same profile, just like that. I'm going to use a 1x1 round plate with open stud, and that's going to allow me to take this clip piece and put this right in the top. So now I have two connection points on top, one where I can connect a bar piece and one where I can connect a stud connection there. And that's going to be the basis of this street lamp here. So from that stud connection, I'm going to take one of these clips here, and I'm going to put one of these bar holders on it. Just like that. And that'll come off the side there. On the top, I'm going to use a bar holder like this, but instead of putting a bar in it, I'm actually going to use candlesticks. Again, we can now mix and match different diameters. These candlesticks have the same basic diameter as this bar holder, and they look really nice when you put them together. So we can put a couple of those coming off the top like that. On this lower one here, I'm going to take a standard bar, this is a 4-long bar, another bar holder piece, and then one of these skeleton arms. Now this is the skeleton arm where it's rotated, so the clips go in different directions. We're going to put those together, and that's going to go on this lower one here, and that'll allow it to connect up top here to this piece. The next thing we're going to need is one of these 2-long bars. Now for this 2-long bar, we're going to stick that in the candlestick, and then the skeleton arm is going to grab it right on the other side of this nub. And then on the end of that 2-long bar, we're going to put another candlestick. And then I'm going to use another one of these bar holders on the end of this candlestick, like that. And now I can install my light. For my light, I just used one of these clip pieces, but the 2 stud long version. I've got a trans clear 1x2 plate on the top, on the bottom, and a white 1x2 tile on the top. They'll just clip right in there. And I think that's a fantastic looking street light. You can make this longer or shorter. Of course, you can extend this as far as you want. You can also make this section longer. You can put a 4-long bar in here and just add a candlestick up top. I believe when I did that, I did move the skeleton arm to the other side. But you can make it stick out a little further if you want. For most streets, I think this would work pretty well, reaching out over the street. All right, now we're going to do a stoplight. This was a lot of fun. I built this last night preparing for my Lego City. I'm scrambling to get everything put together for this little show I'm doing. And this was a lot of fun. I think it turned out really nice. We're going to start with a 1x1 brick. In this case, I'm using just light gray. On top of that, we're going to put one of these 2/3 bricks. It just gets the right height there. It also will allow you to have an open stud if you want to build off that. For this build, I don't need to, but it does allow for some more versatility if you want to put a bar in there. This street light is going to have a crosswalk in it. So for the crosswalk portion, I took a D-snot piece and just put a silver button on there. And that's going to face at an angle toward the back of the street light, just like that. So that way, if this is on a street corner, that'll face inward and the lights will face outward. The next step after that is going to be 2 of these pin connectors just connected with a Technic pin. We're going to stick those right on top, again being mindful for those notches. Depending on how your build is, figure out how to orient those so you see them the least. Next, I'm going to use one of these Technic pins in red with the stud connection. One of my viewers or somebody commented to use the red ones because they're friction ones. I didn't even know those existed. I was always using the blue ones, which spin, but the red ones are nice because they don't spin. Next step, I'm going to take 2 headlight bricks and I'm going to cross them like this, connecting them on kind of the headlight side. This is going to be the basis for my walk signals. And I'm going to put those facing outward like this. You don't have to, but it's a nice idea to take a bar, one that you don't really care about. I have a lot of these in trans blue because they were on Pick-a-Brick. You're not going to see it anyway. Run it down the middle there just to give a little bit of added structural strength to that portion. Next, I'm going to take 4 more pin connectors, again, just attached with Technic pins, and put that on top. So on this one, we're going to make it fairly similar to how the street light is, where I have 2 bars coming off of it, which means we're going to start with the D-snot piece, upside down, right there. Another pin connector with one of these red studs. And I'm going to use a second D-snot piece on this. This is going to go right on top. And then to cap it off, I'm just going to take a 1x1 round plate with a non-open stud upside down right there for the top. Now I need to make my arms extending out. The bottom arm is going to look like this. I'm going to use one of these clip pieces with the bar on it, one of these bar holders, a 4-long bar, and then another bar holder. Like that. And that's going to be my lower arm coming right off of that D-snot piece. For the upper portion, I'm going to take a 6-long bar, and I'm going to take a lightsaber hilt and connect them together. And that's going to come off of the top. Now on my street light, it pitches up. This has to come straight out, so we're not going to do a hinge up here. Next, I'm going to take a D-snot piece, and I'm going to put that on the end of the lightsaber hilt here. And then I'm going to take one of these clip pieces, attaching it to the bar holder and then to the D-snot piece, bringing it all together like that. And then for the end, 1x1 round plate with open stud and a 3-long bar. Keep in mind you can make this longer or shorter if you need to. I find that this length looks pretty good, but if you have 2 lanes, you can go out further and put multiple lights on it. Lots of different stuff you can do. All right, so now we have the basis of our street light here. We just have to dress it up a little bit. First, we're going to put our walk signals. Here I have just 2 of these round 1x2 plates, and then I have a red light and a white light. Red light's going to go on top, like that, on both of these. And those are going to face away from the street corner. And then we need to build our traffic signal. So first I have one of these 2-stud snot pieces. That's going to have our green light and our yellow light. And then one of these 1x1 snot pieces with a red light. It'll go like this. We're actually going to run this upside down. And then on top, I'm going to take a 1x1 round plate with open stud and one of these clip pieces. Put those together. Stick them in that open stud. And this will allow us to hang our street light just like that. And again, you can make this longer. You can put multiple traffic signals on it. But for this case and for my roads, 1 is just fine. Now, of course, you can't just make 1 of these. You have to make 4. So I got 3 more right here. And then you can, of course, arrange them around an intersection like this. Now, again, be mindful of these slots in the back, but it makes for a really cool arrangement. Also, keep in mind, your light has to be across the intersection. So basically come up here and the light goes on the other side. Traffic signals all face inward for walk signals, I should say. Pretty cool, huh? I think those turned out really nice. They're going to look great in the city, which you will see in our next city update. That is not tonight. But it's okay. It will be this week. Likely Thursday. All right. One last thing we need to do. We got street lights. We got stoplights. Now we need power lines. And I know a few people noticed my power lines in my last video yesterday, which is kind of funny because those power lines have been up for a while. But I guess you couldn't really see them with the buildings in there. So let's go ahead and build a power line. Now I'm going to start again with pin connectors in reddish brown. You would think it would be a good choice to use one of these for the base to make it more sturdy. The problem is when you do that, it spins. So we're going to get rid of that. And I'm actually going to use one of these to sturdy it up a little bit. This is one of those kind of old school bars with the stud on the end, or anti-stud on the end. And we're just going to push that up the middle of the stack of pin connectors. Makes for a really strong connection here and gives us a stud we can connect to. If you're going to push bars up the middle, you have to make sure you're using the right connectors. The newer ones have a larger opening in them. The older ones have a much smaller opening. And so when you put a bar in the older ones, they're very tight and they don't fit in really nicely. Almost got that stuck. But the newer ones slide on much easier and have more room to work with. So be cautious of that. It can cause for some frustration there. Now on my power lines, I built streetlights right into them. And the way I did that is I took a reddish brown 4-long bar, stick that down in our pin connectors. I took a 1x1 round with open stud, and then one of these rounded back pieces with the little bar on it, put that on top there. That's going to allow me to clip my street light on. We're going to put this on the top and then push down, and that'll give us that that connection on the post of the power line. I'll do it sideways here so you can see it. All right, the next thing we need, 4 more pin connectors. These are going to be tall. Power lines are way up there. There we go. Next, we're going to take one of these 5-long plates with the axle connection in the middle. We're going to take one of these blue pins with the axle connection on it, and then the pin on the other side, push it through the middle like that, and then stick it on top of our pin connectors here. There we go. Now, I like to switch over to axle connectors at this point. You don't have to, although with this connection, you have to get kind of creative. But I like this because it works well because you can use those axle connections. So I got 4 axle connectors now that I'm just going to stick that right on top of here. And then we're going to do one more layer where we're going to take another 5-long plate with that axle connection, another one of these pins through the middle, but going downward this time, and stick that in the top. On the very top, I'm going to put 2 more regular pin connectors here with a stud on top. It can be blue or red. Red's probably better, but I have a blue one in this. It won't really matter. And that is the basis of our power lines. Now we need to put some stuff on here to decorate it up a little bit. Now these power lines in my city face out over the road. You can definitely make these so they're symmetrical on both sides and make them more like symmetrical crosses, but mine are going to hang out one side further. So here's the design I did. This is an 8-long plate. It's actually 2 4-long. I must have been short on pieces when I built this. Got a couple jumpers on there, a couple tiles, 1x1 tiles, and then I just stacked these silver 1x1 rounds. You can also connect power lines ropes to these. These ones I did not. I'm going to stick that on one side. On the other side, we're just going to do a 1x2 plate, 1x2 jumper, and then 2 of those pearl silver pieces. Just like that. And for the next layer, we're going to make it a little bit shorter. So I used a 6-long here, 2 stud space in the middle for one side. And then again, same thing on the back side here. So this will hold 7 power lines just like that. And I think those turn out really nice. Couple more things we need to do. On the very top, I like to take one of these log end pieces, 1x1 logs, put that up there. Just a nice little finishing touch. And then of course we have to put our street light on there. For this street light, I used 2 of these bar connectors, and I used a 4-long bar, one of these pieces here, an ingot, and just a little light on the bottom. And I can clip that on here and kind of angle it wherever I want it. And again, just like all these builds, you can change the height, you can change the configuration. The idea of these videos are never to give you like, this is how you build it the only way. The idea is to give you the concept and let you guys run with it. So those are the power lines I use in my city, and I think they turn out really nice. Well, I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and do more just like this in the future. That's all I have for this time, and we will see you next time.